This will be a quad isometric and standing. This one's a lot more user-friendly, doesn't require any equipment. Usually you can find some easy places in the house to do this. It's really all about trying to make sure you feel tension in your thigh without feeling pressure in your knee or your hip. Some patients that are very stiff in the front of the thigh or front of the hip, rather than having them just passively pull at it, I want to have them lightly contract the muscle while they're working it towards that lengthened position if possible. So one of the first positions I start at, because many of these people have problems getting their foot behind them on the chair, I have them, instead of standing at something high like a counter, come to more of a table height or even their bed, lean forward onto the elbows, and then they bend their knee, and a lot of times they have a much easier time getting it up here now because they're so bent forward. And in this position, they're just going to, through the top of their foot, very lightly press the foot down into the chair and try and make sure that their lower back is not falling like this. So I have them think about that same tension through the stomach, pulling the hips under them, lightly pressing the top of the foot into the chair for 5 seconds, and relax. Seeing if they can feel more quad or at least a little bit above the knee tension without feeling any significant knee pain. And this is when they can also play around with the position of their knee. So if they do it here and they say, that hurts my knee, I might say, well, how's it feel if you bend your knee a little less? And they might say, that hurts less. So I want to have them find a position where they have no knee pain. Starting off in more of a bend, because that's going to be more tension. If that's hurting, they can go a little further back and see, is there a position where they can press into that chair without feeling knee pain. Next step from here is going to be to have them be more upright. So they can start off at that same table, whatever angle of knee bend they could tolerate, bringing their shoulders up, making sure that first I pull my butt under me. I almost feel like I'm pulling the heel of my hands and I'm pulling my butt towards each other to keep my lower back flat as I press the top of that foot. 5 seconds and relax. If this is going well, the next step would be to get me more upright. So this table would be kind of low. I may come over to something more around kitchen counter height and do the same thing, just making sure the higher I bring my shoulders, the more likely people are to want to do this, where they really let that low back cave. So I want to make sure, I always cue people to do this light pressure through the heel of the hand, like I'm pulling the heel of my hand and my butt towards each other to flatten this lower back as opposed to letting it sink. And in this position, now with me up taller, there's much more of a stretch on my quad, and I'm doing that same press into my shin. This one can also be adjusted similar to the other, where I can straighten that leg back or push the chair behind me a little bit more if I have knee pain with the other position.